for something completely different. So 2017 in general has been the year of disappointment, really. TV shows, films, video games, a lot of things have been hyped up and haven't been as great as everyone expected to be. There's a few examples: Murder on the Orient Express, The Snowman, hyped up, weren't brilliant. Video games, Battlefront 2, yeah. Sonic Forces, which technically got good reviews, well, 60%, but yeah, once again, disappointing. As you can tell, this is a bit different to most of my other reviews, such as the Chucky reviews or the Jackass review, and some of my other reviews which are to come, in the sense that this is all very spontaneous, this isn't scripted, this is me sitting here talking about a film which I saw recently, or as of filming this, it was yesterday. So, Justice League. My thoughts on the film series in general, DC film series, is Man of Steel, it was alright, I didn't mind it. Batman vs Superman is the only one that I truly hate, it was awful. Suicide Squad, I quite liked. Wonder Woman was brilliant, and then this one, which is in my opinion the second best one, and that's about it. It's flawed, it's good, but it's flawed. So let's talk about it. The film starts off with Batman just after this weird like fly creature which feeds off the fear of people. It goes around and he goes around hunting this criminal, forces him to get scared, tracks down the fly creature. The fly creature blows up, and then he finds this weird symbol which apparently he's been tracking down for the past few days. So the weird symbols all belong to Steppenwolf, which is the main villain. He wants these cubes, these energon cubes. Well, okay, they're not energon cubes, they're actually called Mother, which I must admit, I got a little bit confused when he said Mother. It went in front of the Amazonian women, because I thought they were related or something. So he tracks down these mothers to create unity, to take over the world. There's your plot right there. He assembles the Justice League, which consists of the Flash himself, Wonder Woman and Cyborg, as well as Superman, but he's not meant, we can't talk about that just yet. So, yeah, the beginning of the film suffers from DC-itis, where every DC film has this really poorly edited beginning, because you cut from seeing Superman's funeral and you see all these people acting like mildly bad, which is not really Superman's fault, or his death's fault I should say. You know, then you cut to Steppenwolf, then you cut to the Amazonian woman, then you cut to Batman, and it's a mess, the beginning. That said, it does clear out a bit. As soon as you see the heroes, you see a bit more clarity, you know. Speaking of the heroes, Wonder Woman and Batman are great, even though Batman, in my opinion, was a bit too jokey around here. Him and Cyborg in particular have sort of swapped personalities. Cyborg has turned from being the jokey one to being dead serious and, ironically enough, robotic. Batman, on the other hand, is a bit more jokey, which I must admit I thought was a little bit unusual, but I don't really have much of a problem. Flash, once again, very jokey, a lot of jokiness in this film. A little bit awkward, but I could bear him. Aquaman, he's sort of the four of the team. Let's be honest now, he's definitely the four of the group, and in my opinion was probably the most useless one of them all. If you cut his character out, you probably wouldn't miss much, other than one of these energon cubes is in Atlantis, which, may I just say, Atlantis looks awful. Like, I know it's only this one little sculpture with 3 people, but it looked awful. I'm not happy about that at all. That said, Steppenwolf himself, I didn't think was all that bad. I mean, he does sort of teleport here and there randomly, and yeah, he was a bit over the top, but I don't mind the over the topness at all. What I do mind is the tonal shift from Man of Steel to this. Like, I know a lot of people complain about it, but I don't mind the tonal shift all that much, but it is sort of distracting knowing that Man of Steel is this deep, dark, brooding and colourless movie when you have this, which is your complete opposite, you know. It's actually bright, it's comical, and it's actually got a lot of colour. Particularly the scene where you see Cyborg and Wonder Woman meet for the first time. She's in this neon lit city. It's really colourful, really bright and vibrant, you know, in comparison to something like Man of Steel, where that colour would be died down to a pulp. Speaking of Superman, he is in this film, and he's resurrected in kind of an awkward fashion because he used one of those energon cubes to resurrect him, which I thought was kind of silly, but they needed to get him back, I know, and it once again adds to the point, why even bother doing the death of Superman so early on? Like, at all. You know, I really, I don't like Batman vs Superman, and one of the reasons why I don't like it is because of the death of Superman bit. They really fucked that bit up, really shamefully as well. That said, Superman does return, and I will admit he's improved over the last few films. He's no longer this brooding, you know, once again, colourless and dull and drab character. He actually looks more colourful in this film. He actually is a bit more cheerful, a bit more charismatic, like Superman should be. Speaking of things brought back, I am thrilled they brought back the 1989 Batman theme and the old Superman theme. That that got me giddy. I loved listening to the da-da-da-da-da as Batman is seen in lightning of the in the I can't speak scene, standing there in the pouring rain with lightning flashing. That was awesome. I do like Commissioner Gordon as well, even though he had a short appearance. He looked good for the part, I will say. In fact, speaking of things that I really like, there's a lot of like Easter eggs here and there, a lot of little things which I really enjoy. I love the fact that Green Lantern actually makes an appearance in this film, but not the character of Green Lantern, but the Green Lantern ring, with Green Lantern individuals using it to fight Steppenwolf in the backstory battle, which I must admit was pretty cool. I do like the fact that they mentioned Penguin at one point. They mentioned, Alfred mentions wind up, blow up penguins, which I thought was hilarious. I loved it. Of course, then, of course, those little things were really good. Oh, I loved that. Of course, then there's the end credit scene with Deathstroke and Lex Luthor. Spoiler alert, though not much happens. In fact, speaking of Deathstroke, I think his grey hair looked awful. Like, it looked incredibly fake. It looked like they dyed it just the day before. It's not like... It's almost too white. I don't know if the actor really looks like that, but yeah, I thought Deathstroke looked a little bit funny without the mask. And Lex Luthor, of course, I can't stand that character at all. I know he's trying, but nah. But that was the end credit scene. Not important to the actual story. What is important is the battle against Steppenwolf. There's a few fight scenes. All of them are really good. I think the one down in the sewers was really good, or the dockyard. I also didn't mind the end battle scene, even though the final battle scene, in my opinion, was a little bit annoying in the sense that it doesn't really have a lot of high stakes, you know. I know a lot of people complained in Man of Steel about the final battle being in a populated area where loads of people are being murdered, but in this case I felt like it was necessary because it needed to be high stakes, like seriously everyone's going to die, but instead you just have to worry about 4 people, a Russian family, and apparently an apartment block of people, although you don't actually see or hear them whatsoever. If I were to give this film a rating, it would probably be a 72% out of 100. It's not bad, it's not good. No, it's not bad, I should say. It's good, it's flawed, but DC is on the right track, for sure. DC is on the right track, and of course one of my concerns is with DC is that maybe they've done too little too late, because Man of Steel and of course Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel being mixed and Batman vs Superman being a flop, I fear that they've done too little too late by this point. Now people are just going to go in with low expectations, which is a shame, because whenever I see a DC film, I'm the opposite. I actually go in with high expectations thinking, it's going to be great, it's going to be great. And I'm either disappointed or I'm really thrilled. And in this case, I was thrilled. I don't know what you think. Comment below.